Okay, if you're in the dating scene and you watch none of my other videos, please watch this one, because there is a huge red flag that can be seen early on in dating. And if you see this, it is a strong indicator of a highly controlling partner. And 9 times out of 10 is an indicator of a seriously abusive partner. So please stick around. There's a psychological principle that says if you can get somebody to say yes to little tiny small favors and little tiny small behaviors gradually over a period of time, they are more likely to do a big favor for you and say a big yes to you later on that maybe they wouldn't have had you asked for it up front. The way that manipulative and abusive people use this principle is that something that my friend experienced recently. They will test to see who is willing to say yes to them. Here's what I mean. My friend goes on a date with this guy after talking to him for about a week. Date's nice, everything's fine. And he's giving some signs already of over texting her, kind of asking where she is. But here's the biggie. After about 2 weeks of being on that one date, they have made no commitments to each other and they have not even talked about having sex yet. He asks her, when was the last time you had sex? How many people have you had sex with? Which, again, they were not having that conversation. That was wildly inappropriate for the context of where they were at. And my friend told him so. She said, I'm really not comfortable answering that. Here's where it comes in. He said, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I just have some trauma from a previous relationship that I was cheated on. Right there, run. Get out, run fast and far and in the opposite direction. Because here's what he was doing. Did you see that test? First, he tested her to see if she would say yes to giving him the information on her own. When she didn't, he swooped back around and covered it up with the use of trauma, which as a healer is just aggravating to me because you don't use trauma as an excuse. You use trauma to heal. I digress. So when he said, I'm sorry, it's my trauma, he was looking for her to swoop in and be compassionate and say, oh, okay, I get it. Which would have been an indirect yes to those wildly inappropriate behaviors that he just exhibited. And that, if it had continued, he would have been able to keep using the excuse of his trauma in order to be controlling of her. Now, luckily, my friend didn't go for it, but that is a dangerous game to play, is to keep saying those little yeses and keep making those little excuses. If you see that behavior and someone's using their trauma as an excuse to be controlling, get out. Happy healing.